Louisiana beer reviews. 30A Beach Blonde Ale. 30A is a state highway in Florida. 30 runs along the Gulf Coast in North Florida. 30A, 30 alternate, runs along the beach. 4.6% alcohol, 13 international bitterness units. This was given to me by Jean H. Pierre when he met up with me in New Orleans last week. This was, they got the date, guys. Bottled on July 20th, 2016. Santa Rosa Beach, Florida. And then on the front, South Walton, Florida. Okay. There are 2 video reviews for this. Really, 1 video review and then 1 promotional from a radio company. There's a fish hook on the inside of the cap. Right. It gets an okay score on Beer Advocate. So like a C with only 14 reviews. Rate Beer has 28 reviews and they're saying that it's a 28 out of 100, a 38 out of 100 for the style, so they don't like it at all. I was reading one recent review, there was only one recent review, and it was talking about, it's too malty, it's all malt. Well, with 13 reviews, that's probably the truth. They're saying on the Grayton website, and that's from Grayton Beach, Florida. This company was established about 5 years ago. They were saying that it's a sessionable, easygoing beach beer. So, all right. So we're only talking about 42 written reviews. If it was 85 degrees, it'd be more appropriate, but okay, at least it's sunny. Slightly off-white head, a golden appearance, mostly clear, I think, yeah. But there's haze to it. Now, with the sun shining through it, it's quite hazy. With the sun shining at it, it's not as hazy. And the bubbles just went right to the top. All right. I remember the Michelob Beach Blonde. That was a really delightful beer. Didn't last long. It was sweet, enjoyable, malty. Well, you can watch my video, okay. Which might be the only video review for that beer. Didn't last long enough for too many people to tackle it. Well, this smells really nice. It's crackery, biscuity, some honey notes, some sourdough bread, similar, and I've said this before, to the Church's honey butter biscuits, but without the butter, okay? There's no diacetyl in this. Okay, so no complaints on the appearance, no complaints on the aroma, or powdery sediment throughout. Oh, there's some little lazy bubble, ascending bubbles. The flavor. Some very, very, very mild citrus aspects. The biscuitiness, the sweetness, the sourdough bread, a little bit of white bread crust. There's some bitterness detected, but it's very low. 1 out of 5 hop cones. It's 3 out of 5 sugar cubes. It's medium bodied, a little fluffy. It's not light bodied. And the finish is on the dry side. It is very refreshing here at 8:30, 8:40 a.m. and very easygoing. If a beer is designed to be on the lighter side, the blander side, the beach chips and salsa side, and then it does all those things, that's not a fault or a flaw with it. I don't think it's fair to complain about it. It was like when I was doing the Founders Backwoods Bastard and the Goose Island Bourbon County Stout, really. I mean, I don't really like drinking those beers. They're not too enjoyable to me. They're too heavy bodied. I don't really care for the bourbon barrel flavor. So I could say, well, it's not a good beer because I don't care for it. I mean, the Backwoods Bastard was what, most excellent or A+, something like that, and then in that area, and then the Goose Island Bourbon County Stout 2016 was world class. Great, fabulous. Not for me, but so wonderful in that style. And I think this is very, very, look at that nice Moosie head. This is very fine, and this isn't even that fresh, 5 months old. Very fine, oh, close to 5 months old, very fine in the style. Just okay. Oh, a little lemony aspect. But take into account who's reviewing it. You got people that generally don't like these light-bodied things. Oh, this is bottle conditioned. There is major gunk at the bottom. Well, this brings this review into a whole different world now. It's going to take a different course, I believe. I never expected that. I thought this was just a filtered beer. Now we've got some major chunk action. Big tan chunks roiling about. There's that grayish, yellow grayish cloud that's going to start descending. Well, the aroma's a little spiced up from the yeast, I suppose. Not really a different flavor, just a more pronounced flavor than what I was saying before. I think it's an A beer. A most excellent beer. You gotta consider the style. It's like when you go into lagers, you got Landshark Lager and Corona Extra, and they're beach beers. They're designed for that, like they say on this website, flip-flops, hanging out at the beach. They're not really designed for too much contemplative considerations, but in their little, or I guess I should say in their huge world, they pretty much perfectly execute what they're attempting to do. So I think there's a lot of personal preference conflict going on in the beer world. Okay, but I try to just focus on the quality, and the quality is very much there. Here's the premier issue, Athlon. I was supposed to show this last one. Athlon, National College Football, repeat after me, Big Red are rolling. And we know Nebraska did win multiple national championships in the 90s. And they even let players play, even if they dragged their girlfriends down the stairs by their hair, and even if the player was illiterate. But, you know, I don't want to get into all the political stuff. You can learn some things from former head coaches at Nebraska, like winning is more important than ethics or education, whatever, you know, but I don't want to definitely not single him out, although he exemplifies that attitude. Okay, Jack Daniels, yeah, I've never tried that, but from what I understand, it's quite popular. I'm trying to get in the sunlight here. That oak tree and the light, okay, going behind those tree leaves. This was the first national edition for Athlons. They used to always make regional editions from 1967 to 94, and then they went with the national. And we've got Peyton Manning, you know, the great college football star and NFL star and pro. Ron Powless, a star in college, not in the pros. And then there's an article about tradition and the teams, and then you go through each team just one by one. And see, Illinois Fighting Illini, yeah, they had a good run for a while. They've struggled so much lately. And Miami Hurricanes, they've kind of struggled, if you want to call 8-4 going to a bowl game struggling. University of Kansas Jayhawks football would say, we will tell you about, let us tell you about struggling. Okay, so I'm glad I have that magazine. I'm glad I'm drinking this beer. So Laissez-les Bon Temps Relais, a really enjoyable, most excellent product. Not a widespread or well-known product, but still really nice nonetheless. And I'm going to end this review by saying, y'all come on down to sunny, low humidity, which is unusual, New Orleans.